Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Sit Down and Lockdown with me, Joe Emilio, is always a guest on my show. Tonight we have Glen Bo, ladies and gentlemen. Um, I met Glen Bo not too long ago. Very funny guy. He has a very cute pug. He brought the pug to the show, which was obviously the pug stole the show, but he's also a pretty awesome chap, and he does a lot of things as well. He's a chef, he's a comedian, and we're going to get into all that in just a moment. Ladies and gentlemen, I see there's already a few viewers. Welcome, welcome. Thank you so much for tuning in. And remember that on this show, Sit Down and Lockdown, my guests, I try and help them out by, asking for donations. Now, it's not a must. It's only if you enjoy the show. If you feel like you want to give a little bit, that's fine. The link is in the description below. You can find all the details there. So, ladies and gentlemen, please tell people to join us. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to play a game with you a bit later. Storm Legacy and Chico. How are you guys doing? The normal suspects, if I can put them that way. Um, good evening, guys. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, I'm going to bring on the guest for tonight. He is one interesting man, to say the least, and I cannot wait to get him on the show and talk to him. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together, even though we're not going to hear it. And welcome, Glen Bo.
Thanks, Joe. Like it's so surreal. Like now the audience be clapping or whatever the case is, and there's nothing. There's nothing. There's just there's just us. I feel like I'm losing my mind, but it's all good. How you, man?
I'm good, Glenn. How are you? How's the lockdown treating you?
It's been emotional. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah,
been. I don't know. It's weird. There's like ups and downs. But it's a strange thing, man. Like I think we were all ready for it to like end,
yeah.
and then it didn't end, and now it's just like a long breakup. You know what I mean? It's just not coming. It's like, yeah, it's that part of the breakup where you're deciding when you're going to end it on Facebook. You know what I mean? Like the relationship's over, but you haven't deleted each other on Facebook yet. Like this is what the lockdown is, it's like stupid. Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. All right, so obviously you do a lot more than just comedy, and I quickly just want to touch on that for those who are watching and may not know this. You're a chef. I was very, very surprised to hear that. How long have you been a chef?
Mm. I worked. I went to. I lived in London. I did the whole 2-year working visa thing that became like 5 years, and and I managed a pub in my first like year there, like you would do.
Yeah.
South Africans get I poured beer for strangers, and the days that the chef was off, and he wasn't there, I cooked. So I was in the kitchen. There was a gastro pub, so I was like making all sorts of things, bangers and mash, and all sorts of stuff like that. And my dad was a chef in the army, so I've always cooked. I've always had an affinity
Okay.
for it.
All right.
So it's kind of like a self-taught thing. But I've worked in kitchens, and yeah, and then probably about a couple of years ago, I started my own pop-up thing. So when we were allowed to, and we did it like at Railways Cafe, and I've cooked for like small parties and like big events and stuff like that. It's just something that I really love.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Yeah, we had a venue many years ago, and I was in the kitchen for that. And then we would jump on stage and do comedy, like all sorts of very cool stuff. So yeah, I love it, man. I love cooking, and I miss it a lot. And it would be so cool to have people over for dinner. You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
miss other human beings like so much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I agree with you. Like a nice like family braai, even, like even though we may not get along with our family, now we're like, you know what? I want that crazy uncle in my place. I need a bit of drama. Um,
No,
so
absolutely, dude. Absolutely.
yeah,
Socializing is. I mean, basically, the world has ended as we know it. You know what I mean? Like, this shit's gonna be around for like who knows, no, how long? I don't know. So like the way we go out, the way we do restaurants, the way we interact with people, it's just gonna be like super. It's not gonna go back to how it was
mm,
ever. So now like when we do braais, or we get all we little PPE shields, it just makes us look like a bunch of idiots. I mean, those PPE shields are so unflattering, dude. You know what I
well,
mean? Like people need to start designing cool masks.
I don't know, dude. I think yes, to some extent, like for at least maybe the next 2 years, yes, people will be wearing masks in public and those shields. But I think like when we see family and stuff, I don't think people are gonna be sitting around with a shield on. I don't know. Let us know in the comments. There are some people watching. Let us know what you think. If you go to a family, if you were lockdown's over, you go to a family bride, are you going to put on a shield? Are you going to put on a mask? I can understand the mask. I can understand maybe gloves, but I don't know. I wouldn't. I wouldn't put on the shield. That's just
Yeah.
retarded. Sorry.
Most people are wearing 3-ply fabric masks that they've made at home from bandanas or like their girlfriend's underwear or whatever the case is. And that's just not working. It stops you from touching your face, but that's about it. So
Exactly.
it is a pointless, yeah, unless you're wearing like an N95 mask or something. Yeah.
Yeah. So okay. So you've been a chef for how long?
But down to many so far 8 years. 8 years. I don't know, dude.
Is that how
I
you
don't know. It's not on my
calculate?
LinkedIn. Yeah, I don't know. I made sure, like my dad did quickie course competitions when I was a kid, and I used to like help him. And then okay, so I guess my first gig. Let's put it this way: your first paid gig.
Yeah.
And as a comic, when you're professional, your first paid gig or your first solo show. I believe it's your first solo show. But my first paid gig as a chef was probably then like year 2 of London, when after managing the pub and doing stuff, I then worked as a chef.
Mm.
You know what I mean?
Mm.
And so like I did that, and I hated the hours. It just like destroyed me. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So like 8 years. You know what I mean? Yeah.
All right. Cool. I just want to Queen Stabitha says Glenn next project fashion forward masks with pugs. I guess they know how much you like your pugs.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. I was gonna have him on. But he's like very emotional tonight because it's like winter's here now. So as an animal, he thinks he's a bear, but like he gets really really cold.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I was gonna have him on the table and stuff. He would just be like snoring away. So just be destroying everything. But I think fashion forward masks are the way to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So tell us again the name
Little
of
line,
your yeah. Tell us again the name of your pug.
a Darth Pug.
Yeah.
Because he literally looks like Darth Vader's helmet, dude. Like his little mouth and everything like that. And the reason I named him Darth was because when I went to go check him out, his mom's name was Yoda, which not only was that
Okay.
weird, but I was like, cool, done and dusted, And he was the only little black pug there. They were all fawns, and I picked him up, and yeah, we were bonded, and like he goes with me everywhere, pretty much. He's awesome. He's awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome little being.
Yeah, no, he was the cutest thing, man. I was so glad that you brought him with at the show that one time. Totally
Yeah.
stole the show. Everyone was like, "Oh my word!" And he was so like friendly. It was so nice. Very friendly.
He's so chill, dude. Like he's so chill. Like I would totally do that again because like he'll just sit there and like hang with people and kind of like just like chill out and like watch everyone.
Yeah.
And then if I call him, like he ran on stage, so it works out like so nicely. Yeah. He's very cool.
So okay, so let's talk a bit about your comedy and stuff like that. So when did you start? No, rather tell us when you started, but also tell us the story of the first time you were on stage. Why did you get into it and all that?
Okay, so I went to school with Chris Forrest.
Oh, nice. Okay.
And Chris Forrest was ahead of me by a year, and I used to go watch Chris. We were mates. He was doing stand up. He was wearing his tweed jacket. It was in his Stephen Rice sort of like kind of like time period, and I would go watch him, and then I would go, cool, this is awesome. And then they had these hypnotist shows.
Mhm.
By a really sort of old school comic, nice guy, and then they would pay me to go and act hypnotized, and I would kind of like just like act like a fucking idiot, but it was funny. And then I was like, well, let me try to do this by myself, and I went on stage and I did my first set, and my first set was pretty interesting because Tony Stewart, I don't know if you know Tony Stewart or ever met Tony Stewart, and Tony Stewart is still alive. I think he's now 590 years old. So Tony's been around for like a long time. He's basically, from Lord of the Rings. And he's like old school Scottish, 100%, like very cool. And he brought me on stage, and the way he billed me, he forgot my name. So he didn't know my name. So the way he billed me, my first gig, I was billed as, welcome onto stage, Chris Forrest, friend. And that's basically what happened. And I to the stage and was like, thanks, Tony. What the fuck? Yeah. And that was at the funny farm at the Randburg waterfront, like eons ago. And that was like open mic.
Yeah.
And just shortly after that, I moved to London and started doing it properly, basically.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So your first time on stage, was it nerve wracking for you? Like, did it go well? What was your
It
first
was.
set like?
No, the first set was actually okay. I kind of like I didn't know what the fuck I was doing, and I didn't really have like any materials and stuff. Like I didn't know how to write material, or so just like told stories about like my like family and stuff. But it was a 5 minute set. You know what I mean? You could hold your breath for like 5 minutes. You know, so I don't know what I said though. I just know I went on and try to get through it and say some stuff and get a few laughs and stand there. And I remember that my biggest problem is like I never had any mic control at all. So I'd be like talking and the mic was like, yeah, I'm like, yeah, and this and that. It was like learning like mic technique was the first thing I had to learn. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
but it was cool. It was cool. Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. My first set wasn't that bad, but we've all done shitty, horrible shows. That you
Yeah.
just like you walk off and you just like kill me now. I want to die. I want to die immediately. I can't deal with life. That just happened. You know. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think my worst gig ever was at a biker rally.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was emceeing a biker rally, and there are children there, and I started like questioning their parenting techniques. It
Yeah.
didn't go well. Dude, it
Yeah.
didn't go well, bro. No, Bloemfontein, no, you don't say that stuff. You don't say that. And you don't say Steve Hofmeyr do us. You know what I mean? Like in those, because like Steve Hofmeyr is basically like Jesus in those towns, and that happened. And I'm like, well, I should start like learning how to defend myself because shit's gonna go down at some point. We're gonna get stabbed. Yeah, we've all gone through that. I haven't been punched on stage though, which is nice. Which is nice.
You've been punched on stage. Did you just say that?
No, I haven't been, but some comics have been punched.
Oh, okay.
Like, yeah. I've seen that before. Like, I've seen guys like hecklers don't know how to enhance their inner calm. Like there's a really cool clip of what's that Aussie comic? Oh, I love him. Whatever the like really hardcore one, and there's a clip of him being punched on stage. It's actually pretty cool. His name will come to me just now.
Have you
But
seen?
I've seen guys beaten up and stuff.
So you've seen the local guys being beaten up.
I've seen people like threaten the life of like Simia Ref before, which is like so much fun. Like he can really get underneath the skin of people.
Yeah.
I've seen that before. I've seen Martin Davis
Oh, yeah.
destroy someone in Durban
Yeah.
to the point that the person was like, "I'm going to kill you," and literally doing Martin's voice back to him. That was amazing. That was like, because Martin Davis is the nicest, calmest, most serene human being. Unless you fuck with him,
Yeah.
then he'll literally like take your head off. Yeah. So that was fun. I've seen that before. He's not scared of anything.
No, Martin Davis doesn't give a crap about it. He'll say it how it is and stuff like that. So, which is also one of the reasons
Yeah.
why I enjoy talking to him. And I've had him on the show as well. For those of you who are watching, please go check it out. Very interesting stories about the industry, to say the least. All right, so you've seen people get beat up. Have you ever been beaten up? Have you ever gotten into like some kind of fist fight with someone, whether it be a comedian or an audience member? Venue?
No, not in a comedy sense. I'm actually like quite a nice person. I'm a nice guy. I'm like, hey, let's get on. Let's diffuse the situation. Don't get me wrong. I've gone on. There's a show at Parker's where there was a table that was just heckling everyone, and no one could really deal with them. And so I decided to sacrifice my set and just like deal and break this woman down emotionally and just ask her why is her vagina broken, and basically at that point fix the show so she shut up and then everyone should get on with their jobs. But nothing like that's really happened. I mean, in terms of like fights and stuff, like we've all had fights as kids, in high school.
Yeah.
One of your guests that comes on the show, Vanna Weber, him and I had a boxing match, which is awesome, which bonded us for life. I love that sort of stuff. Sure, but not in a comedy sense.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, I think it's like our job as comics to diffuse the situation that it doesn't get aggressive, even though if it is aggressive. And I've seen it happen a lot. Where you just go over and as I've emceed a lot, and you diffuse the situation. You know what I mean? You calm everyone down and just chill everyone out. It's all good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The comedian you were thinking of, is it Jim Jeffries?
It is Jim Jeffries.
All right. Thank you, Storm Legacy, for helping us out there.
Yeah. It was Jim Jeffries. It's an amazing clip. Like he gets punched in the face, whole brawl happens, and he comes back on stage afterwards and finishes his set. Like Jim's a legend. That's very, very cool.
Yeah, well, he does definitely get under some people's skin. That's for sure. I just want to go back to that question that I asked about if people would wear masks. Chico being weird, I guess. My family can stand far from me, thank you. No family conversation is interesting enough to be within hearing distance of them. Okay, you sound very sad, Chico. Are you
Yeah,
okay?
well, it's what that's it's what happens with adopted children. You know, you don't really have that bond with your family. It's okay, bro. It's okay, dude. Like it's okay, man. Like we're here for you, bro.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
it's, we'll give him a hug. We'll give him like a virtual hug. Yeah.
Oh man, that's funny. Yeah, I don't. Some people are actually commenting. The Storm said he's getting cold on your behalf because you're wearing the short the sleeveless vest and or sleeveless shirt.
I'm wearing a hoodie. I'm wearing a hoodie. This is my look for my podcast. And we all allowed to. Robin Ferrin did your fucking thing in his underwear.
I know,
Okay, he did.
but it was,
He was in his underwear. Okay, at least I'm wearing jeans, bro. So it's not that cold. It's nice. It's temperate. And also like I feel you feel loose. You can like do things. I miss walking around though. Like I was doing the first podcast I did. Like I wanted to move around the whole time, and you can't. You have to sit still and like talking to the mic. It's so weird.
yeah.
It's such a strange thing to be going through as comics, like adapting to these new mediums now. It's like very very weird, man. Yeah.
Yeah. Chico says, I'm a nice guy is a thing someone says before they floor you. I don't know, man. You look tough. Like, that's the thing. Like, you said you boxed, right? Like, you boxed with Venner Weber, which is very, like, I've seen, like, Venner, I don't know when it was that you guys boxed, but right now, Venner is flipping skinny. And you look like you work out a little bit, so.
Oh, dude, he's hardcore as fuck. We literally like I've never. That was it, when we did it. It actually ended up being fight of the night, and it was really cool. And he was such a good sport for doing it because he stepped in for someone else that didn't want to do it, and he flew up to Joburg and he was there, and we did this thing, and we just literally beat the shit out of each other, and not we didn't go down, and it was just like get the fuck away from me, and he like it was very intense, but then afterwards immediately as it ended, we were just like that was the most cathartic thing ever, and we'll always be friends because of it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? There's a thing in that whole thing, with like a bond or something like that. You know what I mean?
Okay, so who
But
won?
no, it was a draw.
Oh, it
It
was a
was a
draw.
unanimous draw, which is
Okay.
very cool. And the head of the EFC was there, one of the judges.
Oh.
Like it was called comedy boxing. Yes, all
Oh,
comedians.
yeah, I remember
Simi
that.
did it.
Dylan Skews, didn't
Robbie
he do it?
Collins did it. Who?
Dylan Skews, didn't he do it once?
No, this was in Joburg. I know Dylan's done one,
Okay.
but no, this is in Joburg. This is in
Okay.
Joburg. Yeah, yeah.
All right.
A
Yeah.
couple of years back, but it was all good. Oh.
Interesting. All right. So you started. You did your 5 minutes, and you obviously kept doing your comedy ever since. How long you been doing comedy now? Like how long has it
Uh,
been?
well, I would say probably like since I went to the UK. I mean, like I did like sporadic open mics before that. They were like weeks and months apart. So it doesn't really count. And I moved to the UK in like 2003, 2004, 2005, 2006, 2000. It was in the 2000s, 2007, 2000. I'll check my passport. But yeah, so like a good decade plus. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
And but even from like there's been like patches in between. So like I guess when I started, I've always thought of myself as like, cool, I'm doing comedy, but like you have these patches where you don't do it. And my first 8-9 months in the UK, I didn't do anything
Hmm.
because you don't know how to do it. Like who do you speak to? And then I started doing open mic competitions, and that was horrible, and but good at the same time. And then you start meeting the comics, and then I kind of realized I experienced my first bit of racism in the UK, like ever, which was like so cool. I didn't know what it felt like, to be someone that I was like literally. I'll never forget. I'll never forget, dude. Like I walked up to a bar at the Weatherspoons in Wimbledon, and I walked up, and I might have been there for like 2 or 3 weeks, and I ordered a strongbow, which is a cider,
Uh-huh.
and I was like, hey, can I please have a strongbow cider? And like the bartender was like, strongbow cider. I'm like, I don't speak like that. I'm not DiCaprio. This is not fucking Blood Diamond. Like, what are you talking? Like, is that how I sound? Is that how my accent sounds? Like, what is happening? I was like, oh my god, I'm experiencing racism just because I was so that he hated me, and so I was like, what the fuck? And then we started realizing that the Aussies and us in London, we like got on like really well.
Mm.
So like the Antipodeans like all hung out together, and I made lots of Aussie comic friends, and it's very, very cool.
All right.
And that's actually where I met Martin Evans, because at the time, Martin and I were the only two dudes from South Africa, well, South Africans living, doing the circuit.
Nice.
And so we met in the UK, and we've been like buddies and mates ever since. I mean, like it was like, geez, I'm trying to think when it was. It was, yeah, 2008, 2009, something like that. Yeah.
How old are you now?
I am 12.
I'm just wondering because you.
I'm a vampire, bro. I'm a vampire. I'm a vampire. I checked it out. Like, you know what I mean? I can wear short sleeves and drink what is this? Coffee. I didn't even give myself some fucking alcohol tonight for this, dude. I forgot that we could get alcohol. Like I'm so I was like, I'm so amped to like do this thing with Joe. Let's do it. And then I didn't even get a drink. I miss drinking so much. It sounds bad. People go, I miss drinking, but like it's been okay. I did, like when lockdown happened, I was like, yeah, let's get a bottle of whiskey, and like, that runs out, and you like, whatever. I don't really miss it, but I miss like there's some days where like, especially when I'm writing or I want to just sit down and do something, like I'll listen to like really, really angry, loud music, and like have a whiskey, and you can't do that. Yeah. So I didn't make any pineapple beer, although I did have some, which is nice.
Yeah, I've heard mixed reviews about pineapple beer, but that's weird because
Dude is like sweet chocolate, bro. Yeah.
You're a chef, though. I imagine that would have been easy for you to make.
No, I know. You know what happened though? When lockdown happened, I disconnected from everything. I started up social media, like because I knew this sounds so weird though, but I knew this was coming. Not lockdown or anything like that, or COVID or whatever. But and I hope he's tuned in. He's Ian Bardenhorst. He's actually he's a South African comic that lives in Shanghai, and we've been talking, for a long time. He's the older brother of a very good friend of mine. His younger brother, Jan Bardenhorst, is a comic in Durban. And like in late Jan, middle of Feb, just after Valentine's Day, like already we were seeing the hospitals being built in like China and stuff. And I was like, dude, what is happening? And so then I knew that this thing was potentially coming. No one knew it would be a pandemic, but I was like, cool. I need to kind of like pivot towards this and make sure we're going to be okay, because already then they were in lockdown. And I was like, cool. So comedy is decimated in China, and there's a massive circuit there. So if this happens, what are we going to do? So I disconnected from everything I do in terms of like creativity or like food and all that sort of stuff, and I focused on a business, building a business, and I was like in that for like 6 weeks, dude, and like it was very intense. And like only now I've started like coming out of it because I feel like I'm going insane.
Yeah.
Like a lot of comics are going to be doing a lot of like very cool shit and a lot of very weird stuff, because as comics, getting on stage is like it's therapy, dude. It's therapy.
Absolutely.
For them, and so we can't get on stage now. Like musos, everyone's doing weird shit, and eventually, I mean, God, we're gonna probably start doing porn at some point. You know,
No.
everyone's different shit, dude. Everyone's doing different things. So I don't know, when we're gonna.
Well, like stand-up comedy porn, is that what?
Yeah, stand-up. Oh my God, stand-up comedy porn. Take the mic. It's hard. It's hard, bro. It's hard. Yeah. No. Let's not do that. No.
YouTube's gonna now hate the fact that we said that word. So, talking about what comics are doing now, right? About this now that we're in this whole situation. What's your opinion? What's your opinion on comedians that do the live shows and ask people to pay? And also in the comments, let me know, would you pay to see a live show? And when I say live show, I don't mean going to a theater like we used to do. I'm talking about live stream like we are now. It's a live stream, and you're in the comfort of your home and you're watching someone do actual stand-up. Would you guys, in the comments, would you guys pay to see that? And Glenn, you can at the same time give us your opinion on that.
Dude, I just think it's fucking weird, bro. I mean, I'm kind of like, if you've watched Christy Elia's podcast, congratulations, which is like the best thing. It's what's kept me sane through the lockdown. He kind of says it, like it's just awkward. I mean, like me as well. Like even if I've done like very big shows with like, you've done like a theater show, not a theater, like a stadium show. ish, something like 1,000, 2,000 people, even that it's a bit disconnected because comedy is all about like the intimacy of it, and for me, there's nothing better being in a room and people like literally being like really tight around you, and you can like really like lean into them and stuff. You can't do. I mean, shit. If the mic stand is in front of me, I feel disconnected from the audience, and now we're doing it online. So I think the medium needs to change, and it is changing. And people can do different stuff, and I think everyone will kind of find their voice and their niche, which is all good. But a Zoom comedy show, I think. I mean, Conrad, I miss Conrad's show, so I don't know how it went. But I think if you got something very specific to say, and people tune in for that, I think that will probably work. And if it's like almost like a theater-esque piece, maybe. But like stand up, like I work with the audience as well a lot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So unless you're doing something that's storytelling or like a bit of surrealism, or you're just really getting into it, like you want to work off the crowd. And how are you gonna do that if everyone's like sitting there, kind of like with their heads doing that? I just because I watched one and everyone was just like, and I was just like, I can't. I had to tune out. It just feels so not cool. As far as people paying for it, no, why not? If you're going to tune into something, pay for it. Why not? I do think guys are overcharging for it. Because now think about it this way: you can perform to people online. Sorry, in a theater, whatever, and there's 50, 60, 80, 100 people, 200 people. That's a normal comedy show. Whereas online, you could reach 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 people. So bring that down, make it easier for people to pay, make it easier for them to tune in. If you advertise your show, make it easy for them to know where to watch the show. And I think Conrad's done a great job by doing his theater thing now, which is it's fucking very disappointing because that's what I messaged you about this week for us to build. So now he's beat us to the punch. So, but that's all good. But if there's a live theater, why not? Let's tune in. Let's do the Barnyard online, because you can. I guess there is an element of intimacy you can do if you're doing something that's a bit different. But like stand up, I think it's just so it is disconnected for me at least. You know what I mean?
No,
Yeah.
I do agree with you, man. Like I've been toying with the idea of maybe doing like maybe a 30-minute show on YouTube, not an hour. I think an hour like would be a bit too much, but like a 30-minute thing on YouTube where my subscribers tune in and anybody else can tune in, and I just like talk. But the problem is like, how do you like you said, like it's different because like yeah, you can read the comments like I can see now. I can see the comments coming through, but then it's like that
Yeah.
pause. It's that pause for me now to read, and there's no like constant flow in terms like there's like a pause, a really awkward pause between the jokes and stuff like that. And you can't hear the laughter,
Yeah.
so that also is like, did it work? Did it not work? Do I don't even know
Oh, well,
now what to work on.
absolutely. I mean, the laughter of a bit, or when you're doing a bit and so forth, like I think what people need to understand as well, like comedy is very much like Inception. Like you are there. I mean, for me at least, like I'll be talking to people, telling them something, and then I'm already queuing up the next thing that's potentially coming, listening to that person over there. Then the glass broke over there. She's walking. He threw up. Someone flashed a nipple. So you're taking all these cues in, and
What
then you
gigs do you
fire
go
them,
to?
and you go, dude, Four Ways is a horrible place, bro. Joburg is intense, man. I'm telling you what, the kind of the kind of shit I've done. So those are the kind of, I don't know, like so it's like you being in Minority Report, like moving shit
Yeah.
around. I don't know, yeah. And so comedy's like, so if that's not there, I'd rather just do the podcast. I'd rather just then just talk and just go, hey, this is what's on my mind, and if you're listening, cool. If you're not listening, it's like that's also cool. It's all fine. It's all good because you're not listening. Are you there? Is anyone there? No one's there. Fuck yeah. And for me, it's kind of a bit different as well. I think we can show a bit of a different side of ourselves.
Absolutely, yeah.
Because it's a little, which is nice. So I'm trying to find where the intimacy is, and I think for me at least that's where it is, and I'm gonna keep doing that. And I've had like nice feedback about it and stuff like that.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna just look at our comments here. Some people say, okay, so Chico says, I'm a musician. I need people to pay me, and like Glenn said, hey, if you just, I think Glenn has a very good point. Like if you charge like say $50, $40, and you get like 2,000 people to watch you, that's doable. I think. I don't know. Depends on your marketing. And then we have here obviously Queen Stabitha says pay for sure. Storm Legacy says it depends on the platform. YouTube has a premium version where exclusive content is. That's very true. Some with setting up
Yeah.
Patreon. Same with setting up Patreon. Sorry, where there's a tier system for exclusive content. Yeah, that's also possible. That's actually a very good point. People could do that, and
Mm.
that's also something I could possibly do where I do stand up in. But that again, it still doesn't solve the problem of feeding from the audience. And there is a comment here that I also want to bring up um, from Queen Stabitha, who says online heckling could be the new big thing. I hope it's not, because online heckling is harsh. Like people, I mean, I thought heckling was bad in the real world. Online, it's people
It,
just
it's it, it it's not heckling. It's not. That's the thing. It's not heckling. It's very much. You remember what happened with with the group, the ACPP, the PCAP, the PPAP,
ZACP.
the ACPP. What is that group called? Those guys, the ACPP. It's this group that you either invited me to or I saw a bit of your content. I was like, this is cool, and the capitalist group. And I was like, yeah, okay, let's go check these guys out. And I made a comment about spam on the walls, and the admins should just please moderate it because Facebook will push you down. There's an algorithm, like I know what I'm talking about. And then I had like 60 people go, "Hey man, fuck you," and I was like, "Whoa." I was like, "Okay, cool." And then I was, but as I said the comment, I was like, "Look, I'm out of here. This is like silly. I'm getting spam." And then I couldn't comment on it, and then I went back in an hour and a half later and spent 3.5 hours like taking people apart.
Yeah,
Going, "Listen, I'm gonna fucking deal with this shit now." Okay, because but it's not
it was
heckling. It's not
beautiful.
heckling. Like it's dealing with trolls. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And some guys do it really really well. I mean, Bob Perfect has got a podcast called Almost Perfect, and Bob's stuff is his stuff on social media is quite contentious as it is, and he takes people apart in a very very cool way. But it's not heckling. Heckling is normally, I mean, there's a comedy club in the UK that used to be around called Up the Creek, and Up the Creek was a heckling comedy club. You went there to get on stage to be taken apart by the audience and to be that was the whole vibe of
Interesting.
the show. So that's heckling, and the audience members sometimes were funnier than the comics, but that was like the whole part of it. It was a very interactive thing. Online, it's not heckling, dude. It's people just like going, "I'm fucking broken inside." You know what I mean? Like I've got 2 friends on Facebook and 3 Twitter followers, but I've got a fucking opinion. And we should just all kill them. That's what I think. Yeah.
Wow.
Or, with love. With love.
And on that note, Nabila says, gotta go. Good night, Joe and Glenn. Comment spam. Good night, Nabila. I hope Glenn didn't freak you out. Chico says, I love taking on the trolls. Yeah, well, yeah, I guess you could say, yeah, okay, cool. So if it's a troll, is it heckling? No, that's just.
It probably depends in what context. Yeah. For me, heckling is something in a live format. Otherwise, it's yeah. But also trolling. I mean, what's the definition of trolling? Isn't trolling someone that says something to literally get the response, to get it's clickbait in sort of like not visual
They want to
context
get under your
in words.
skin. They want to annoy you. They want to.
Oh, yeah.
They like the
Yeah.
fact that you're getting annoyed and you're responding to them and giving them a bit of attention for something uh,
Yeah.
idiotic, basically.
No, no. There's that kind of trolling. Then there's the other trolling, which is almost like an art form, which is what like Martin Evans does to people.
That's true.
And he just like fucking really, he gets people really sad. You know what I mean? Like he'll say something to people that just like cripples them emotionally. It's like so funny, dude. He kills me. And I just like on a fucking boat somewhere. It's so sad. Such a
He is on a boat. I remember, or like I don't know, man. If he wants to be on a boat, let him be on a boat. What's wrong with that?
I want to be on a boat. Yeah, it's the best plan ever, dude. To like get on a fucking boat. That'll be awesome.
Cool. So okay, so there's a pretty much. I did ask a question. I wanted to. Yeah. Okay. So they've answered the question. All right. So let's play that game that I like to play with all my guests. It's called the interrogation game, and I'm going to explain. Sorry, how that works right now. So As
Cool.
you can see, ladies and gentlemen, I am going to bring up three statements that Glenn. I've prepared three statements. Glenn has prepared three statements. Two of the statements are true about ourselves, and one of the statements is a lie about ourselves. And we have to interrogate each other to find out which one of the statements is, in fact, the lie. Now, obviously, when I interrogate Glenn, he needs to make sure that I guess incorrectly what the lie is, and same vice versa when he interrogates me. Now, how you guys can get
Cool.
involved is by guessing which one you guys think is the lie. So I'll go first. I'll interrogate Glenn so you can also get a feel for it. And then he will then interrogate me. So I will pull up Glenn's statements quickly. And then you guys can also guess by number which one you guys think is the lie. So, Glenn, and also we have 2.5 minutes each to interrogate each other. I will keep you updated, Glenn, with the time. And I'm only going to start the time once I've read the statements to make sure it's correct. So, first statement from Glenn is, I started my first tech company when he was 22. That's his first statement. Second statement, my uncle is Jose Montoya, who danced with the Gypsy Kings, apparently. And number three is, I grew up in Durban. All right. My 2.5 minutes starts now. All right. Jose Montoya. Uncle from which side of the family?
From my mom's side.
Okay, so he's your mom's brother.
Correct.
All right. You started your first tech company when you were 22. What was the name of the tech company? I have 2 minutes left.
Touch me, touch me, touch me.
Are you serious? Touch me, touch me, touch me. That was the name of your company.
That's serious. That's serious.
Tech company.
It was a social media company. We wanted to kind of like reach out to people. We wanted to like do a lot of content. It was before the days of really good names. So yeah.
Okay. You grew up. I think I remember you told me you grew up in Durban, didn't you? Like, yeah, like that. I think
I saw. Yeah. I saw. Hell's yeah, dude. Hell's yeah. KZN for life, bro. KZN.
I'm pretty sure you told me you grew up in Durban, so I know that that's true. I think. I don't know why I'm second guessing myself now. Okay, I have 1:20. Guys, help me in the chats. My uncle is Jose Montoya. Isn't that from a movie though?
It could be. Which movie? What like
it's like a line in a movie like my father is Jose Montoya and you killed my father, something like that. I can't remember.
Could be an Al Pacino movie. Yeah, Al Pacino movie. Yeah. Yeah.
So
maybe.
You know what? I'm gonna call it. 45 seconds left. I'm gonna say number 2 is the lie.
Which one was number 2 again?
My uncle is Jose Montoya, who danced with the Gypsy Kings.
Is that your final answer?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with it. I'm just
okay.
Huh?
You're gonna go with it, dude.
Yeah.
You're wrong, bro.
No bullshit.
You're wrong. You're wrong. True story.
Okay, which one is the?
It's a stage name, but like my uncle was actually Jose Montoya. If you Google the Montoya dance family on my mom's side, all my cousins are like the highest qualified Spanish dancers in the country. They do massive shows. Yeah.
Okay.
My cousin is Maria Loca Montoya. True story. The lie is that I grew up in Durban. I lived in Durban.
Man. Okay, yeah. But you did live there, so that was my confusion. Damn it! All right.
It was a bit tricky. It was a bit tricky, but I did live there for a little bit, and I've lived in a bunch of different cities and stuff, but I did live there, so I consider myself an ex-Durbanite. You know, 3-1 for life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're
except not. I'm fucking go there now. Jesus.
I started my first tech company, so it really was called Touch Me, Touch Me, Touch Me.
Well, that was our payoff line, to be honest with you. I when you said it, it was actually called Death by Digital, but that was our payoff line. Touch me, touch me, touch me. I don't know what you were thinking, but yeah. social media company like back before it was like really popular, and we then pivoted to tech events and stuff like that. But yeah, true story. At 22, yeah.
All right, cool. Well, now that you know how this works, here are my statements if you want to write them down. But if at any time, if you want me to repeat them, I will. Um, so here are my statements. Let me just reset the clock. All right, here we go.
Yeah.
So my first, and I'm only going to start the time once you've told me you've got these ready to go. So my first statement is I broke my leg skateboarding. My second statement is I skateboarded for 4 years. I skateboarded for 4 years. And number 3 statement is I could kickflip down 7 stairs. Now, I will say this before I start the time. Some of the people watching may really be able to help you with this one if they've been paying attention to the previous shows. All right. And are you
source? I can see that. I can't see their comment.
I'll help you. Don't worry if they come through.
Okay, cool.
All right. So my 2.5 minutes starts now.
All right, cool. So it kind of sounds like a whole story. It sounds like you kickflipped down 7 stairs, broke your leg 4 years ago.
No.
That's literally what the sounds like. Like, dude. Okay, cool. So I'm gonna say.
You can ask questions.
Okay. What kind of board did you skate with?
Element. I used to skate Element board. I had Thunder trucks, Spitfire wheels, and Reds bearings. And I used to wear Etnies shoes. Those are my favorites.
Etnies shoes.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So the lie is obviously that you skate. You've been skating for 4 years, or you skated 4 years ago. You've obviously been skating longer.
Nope. I quit skating, and I had skated for 4 years of my life.
Did you skate professionally for these 4 years?
You could say so. I was sponsored in the final 3 months before I stopped.
All right, cool. Are these 3 questions just an elaborate way to talk about your sponsors?
No. They're no longer my sponsors. How does that help?
I don't know, Joe. We're all trying to make money. Okay, cool. Where did you break your leg?
Sorry?
Where did you break it?
I broke it on...
Where did you break your leg?
Yeah, I don't know how to... Between the knee and the ankle, the shin, I think it's called, broke in 3 areas.
So the whole bottom of your leg, between the knee and the ankle.
Yeah.
Like, it's like that much.
Yeah, so like if this is the knee and this is the ankle, it went...
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how long was your rehab after that?
I was in hospital for 2 weeks before they could operate on me, and then they put a metal pin down my leg. And I think I was out for 6 months before I could start walking again, almost a year, somewhere there. 8 months. Yeah, somewhere there. 30 seconds left.
Okay. All right. Okay, I'm gonna say that I'm gonna guess the lie is that you didn't break your leg.
Is that your final answer?
That's my final answer.
All right, with 15. Nobody is really saying much. He broke his lead skate because he rode into a goat. No, that's not true. Chico, you haven't really been...
Because he loved it.
No, Chico hasn't really been paying attention. I have no idea what he's talking about. I do know, but I'll explain later. Okay, so you're sticking with number 1.
I think so. It makes the most sense to me just in terms of like the narrative of the story. Just the narrative.
Okay, well, number 1 is the lie. Sorry. Yes, number 1 is the lie. That's true. Yeah, so you're right.
Cool.
Well done.
So what do I win? What do I win? Like, what happened?
Just bragging rights.
Just bragging. No, that's cool, man. You know what it was? When you said you broke your leg between your knee and your ankle, there's like literally like the whole of the shin. You know what I mean? Like people would be a bit more like I smashed the middle of my shin, or like I broke my clavicle or something like that. So that's why it seemed like a. All
right. Well, the truth is, I have broken my leg, but it wasn't skateboarding. I broke my leg on a scooter accident in 3 different areas.
Manly, bro. Yeah, that's much better, dude. That's fucking, like, why would you tell anyone that? so hectic. You're not the only comic that's done that as well. Like guys have like been taken out by scooters, dude. People shouldn't go on scooters.
No,
Bad thing.
I hate them now. I hate motorbikes. I hate scooters. But yeah, 2 weeks after moving to South Africa, that happened to me. I broke my leg doing that. And my parents always said, "Oh, you're gonna break your leg skateboarding and all that stuff." And I was
Yeah,
jumping, 7 stairs, 8 stairs, 10 stairs, and I was really good. And then come here and break my leg. Yeah, and then the doctor actually told me I can't skate again. It would be bad for my leg, so I had to stop.
that's
Um,
hectic, man. That's hectic.
yeah, but I did skate for 4 years. That is true. I have kickflip down 7 stairs. That is also true. Cool. Well done, buddy. Maybe I should have
Thanks,
explained
man.
the breaking better, but yeah, I didn't know how to explain it. I knew it was the shin, and I knew it was halfway. So that was my that was my logic. Um,
Like that. That's like this. This is not shin. Like this is like opening. I don't know. It's like the uterus or something. I don't know what this is, but like when you did that, it was like that's definitely not shin. It's like
I was trying to say that this was the shin bone, and it broke by, and then but you.
no, I got you. I hear you, bro. I hear you.
Oh man.
Was the onomatopoeia your way? Yeah.
All right, so I want to explain what Chico said here. Chico said
Yeah.
he broke his, I think he means leg, skating because he rode into a goat at his farm. So what Chico's
Cool.
what Chico means to say is I was in America on a ranch and I had a goat and it pinned me against the gate because its wife or girlfriend or whatever gave birth, and I didn't know that it gave birth, so the goat was attacking
Its
me.
wife also gave birth. Yes.
Yeah,
The goat's wife or girlfriend gave birth. Okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
and I didn't know that it gave birth to its calves, and then it pinned me against the gate. But that is not how I broke my leg. I actually didn't break anything in that when the goat attacked me. So Chico, yeah, that I don't know how you got to that.
Just yourself because a goat pinned you against the fucking wall, dude. Like,
I was a kid, man. I was like 7 years old or something.
oh, you were children. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I thought you were like a grown man
No.
and with a goat. Oh, okay. No, I got you, dude. I got you. I got you. Sorry. So, no, I mean that'd be traumatic. I mean, like goats are pretty evil, dude. You know, like small goat, small child. I understand. Okay.
Oh man. All right. All right. So I always like to ask this question with all my guests as well. Tell us. There has to be one in your
Yeah.
so many years of doing comedy. The most embarrassing gig you've ever done. Come on.
The most embarrassing gig.
Yeah.
Like embarrassing. Shit,
Like
dude.
Rob's story of his most embarrassing gig. That like that.
Yeah. I I think the worst. It was. I guess it was embarrassing because it was like really bad. Um, but it happened. It was like it was awkward. It was more awkward than embarrassing. Do you know what I mean? Like being embarrassed on stage is like such a difficult thing. But like the most awkward gig I ever did was and I do this as a bit was we were on tour and I was in a town called Richards Bay,
Mm-hmm.
and this is a true story. And I was on stage having a conversation with the audience, talking to them, trying to get into them in the first 5-10 minutes, like, hey guys, what's up, this and that, da, da, da. And this dude literally walked around, like onto the stage, and he like tapped me on the shoulder, like I'm literally doing the bit now. And I was like, can I help you? He's like, my friend wants to sing a song, and I was like, what the fuck? Like that actually happened, dude. And I was like, do you realize what is actually happening now? And he wanted to sing a song, dude. And then he like introduced himself, and his name was Pissong, and it was fucking awkward, man. And we were there like filming a thing for ETV, and like all producers were just like, cool. Glenn said he did comedy. That's fucked up. It was just like it was the most awkward thing ever, dude. So I'll never forget that. So like, don't go to Richards Bay. I've been saying that shit for like this now. It is the worst place in the world, dude. The worst place.
You know
Hey,
what?
Richards Bay, everyone.
You know what? That has happened to me. Like, okay, I
Yeah.
wasn't filming anything, but okay, it was at a dive called Meraki in Durbanville. Doesn't exist anymore. And you know how the open mics are. You always have like the drunk guy or this guy. And this one guy comes
Yeah.
in drunk off of his rocker and just stumbles to the stage. Ah, I want to sing Captain. I want to sing Captain.
Oh my god. Yeah. Yeah, dude.
And he wouldn't stop. He wouldn't stop. Like we told him, like, no, dude, this is like comedy. It's not like I think Gino was hosting, so like he was like, no, dude, go sit down, go to the bar, very politely at first, and then he just wouldn't stop. He's
Yeah.
like, nah, Captain, and it's
No,
very
dude.
embarrassing.
I can. I can't tell you about like maybe like my worst death though, which is not embarrassing, but just like kind of like when you say something, you're like, this is gonna kill, this is gonna kill, this is gonna be so funny. Oh my god, this is gonna be awesome. This is the one, this is the one, this is the one. You cue it, and you drop it, and just like nothing, and you're just like, oh my fucking word, and you're like, no, it's all good, but like inside you dying because you're like, you just fucked up your whole fucking set, and that happened in Port Elizabeth. I literally walked on stage and I was like, I'm gonna go on and go in hard and just like go in and just like get them. Like I'm gonna get them with this thing. I was like, hey, good evening, everyone. Hey, who thinks he walked me as a cunt? And like crickets, dude, crickets. And I was just like, smash, like it was no coming back from that ever, dude. I was like, cool, lesson learned. Don't do that. Don't be like a. I'll never forget that PE open theater as it is. It's like gonna be hard. You know what I mean? And it's gonna be work. And I was like, let's go in and say something like to get them on my side. And I ended up like offending everyone. And I was like, yeah, lesson learned. Worst thing ever, dude. It makes me like tear up on the inside when I think about it now. Wow. So bad.
Oh man. Oh man, I don't think I've ever said anything like that, like in a wrong situation, if I can put it that way, like in front of an
Yeah.
audience that you're not supposed to say something. I'm not. That's
Mm.
not to say that I haven't had my trips, and I've sworn when I wasn't supposed to swear at a gig.
Yeah.
I've spoken about topics that I wasn't supposed to speak about at a gig. But I don't know. Sometimes like when clients tell me like, yeah, don't talk about this, don't talk about that. Like obviously for the most part I behave myself, but there are moments where when you're working,
Yeah.
you can kind of feel this crowd's actually pretty cool. Like they're not going to crucify me
Exactly.
if I do talk about
Yeah.
this. So I go that extra mile or whatever, and the client, the guy who booked me, is like, but the crowd is loving it. So can you really hate me? I don't know. But yeah,
Exactly, but that's what I was talking about earlier about that intimacy. You can't feel that like through a screen potentially through a bunch of people sitting on the other side of the screen. It's like feeling that sort of like, but can I push it? Can't I push it? Because if you play with things and you're charming enough and you're kind of nice enough and you got the audience on your side, you can kind of go anywhere.
exactly.
You know what I mean? Like I've done a corporate for IBM and we couldn't say Windows, for example. You know what I mean? And you're just like, really, bro? Like seriously, like get these briefs. Do not say this. No politics. No this. And you're just like, oh, okay, cool. This is why I guess we're getting paid the big money. Oh my god, yeah. But that's why corporates are like horrible things, but you have to do them. It's all part and parcel of it. It's like another skill set altogether.
Wait,
Yeah.
I mean, do you even mention Windows in any of your jokes? I mean, like that's very specific.
No, I don't. But the problem is now you said that I can't.
And now you want
Now
to.
all I'm thinking about is fucking Windows, bro. It's like seriously. I just
Oh, you're like me.
I just it's in my head now. You know what I mean? I've been to like family gatherings or like met people's friends and like, oh, this is so and so, this is Rob. Rob's studying to be like a pastor and so forth. And I'm like, oh, Jesus Christ, that's amazing. Sorry, I can't help it. There's like literally something broken inside of me I know I mustn't say that thing, but like it comes up because it's probably gonna be funny. To I don't know.
I don't
I don't
know.
do it on purpose though.
No, fuck
Yeah.
that. We do it on purpose because we're comedians. Like I'm told, like, oh,
It's,
don't say this, don't say that, and I'm like, okay, I'll say it. 'Cause we're just naughty.
exactly.
We're naughty
Yeah.
little shits like that.
Don't get me wrong. I've done gigs in churches, bro.
No, me too.
Yeah, absolutely. I've done a gig, in the church, and how cool it would be to do a gig now in a church. And I actually think we should all start churches. Like, I mean, dude, there must be such a loophole right now. What is a church? What is a church? 50 people So, and did you hear this week now? The first church of Satan, the first
Yes.
satanic
Oh
church
my
has been
word. Yeah,
registered.
yeah,
I know, dude. So what is a church? You
yeah.
know. So there must be a massive loophole. So I think we can all just start comedy clubs, and we just need to give communion or something. I don't know.
I mean, I did see like a lot of memes and a lot of like comedians talking about like, oh, come on, guys, who's gonna register as a priest and or a rabbi or whatever? And there we go, 50 people, easy, talking about whatever. And then it made me think about that joke that a lot of comedians do. It's kind of a hack joke, where sometimes like
Yeah,
if it's like a bit quiet, or a lot of hosts do it as well to kind of break the ice, where they're like, hello, ladies and
yeah.
gentlemen, welcome, welcome. We are all gathered here today. Have you heard about your Lord and Savior Jesus Christ? That thing, and now I'm like, that joke doesn't seem like a joke anymore. So,
No, definitely not, dude. Definitely not. But which churches are allowed to like apply, and which ones are not allowed to apply? You know what I mean?
hmm.
Like what kind? Like the Church of Scientology. You know what I mean? Like I mean, are they allowed to like do services now? I want to know the rules, dude. I want to know the rules because there must be. There's going to be loopholes. I think this is going to open up a big bag of shit. Seriously, it's going to be really interesting. I think we should all start a church of some.
Yeah, church of,
Yeah.
I think you could call it whatever you want as long as the word church is in there. So like, Church of Comedians. They can't. It's a
Why
church.
not? Exactly.
It's a
Yeah.
funny
Yeah.
church. Like we will teach our gospel, so to speak, which is open
Yes.
mic nights, and we're figuring it out. I don't know. We'll have fun with it. Anyway,
So if anyone out there knows how to register as a priest, please let us know. You know, like the whole, like register as a priest, become like a nice person, not the Catholic version where you have to touch children, like the nice version. Let us know how you do that. And, you know, 'cause I'd like to do it, dude. I'd love to be a priest. Reverend. Talkie, happy, happy. That one. One of those. Yeah.
We just want to tell jokes. That's the bottom line.
Exactly. Exactly. Dude, I went to Catholic school, so like we were around lots of priests, and it was like really awkward on Gala Day. You know, like why are you here, Father Flattery? We're getting changed for everyone's in speedos. It was awkward, dude, awkward. So like definitely not the Catholic version. You know, something a bit more postmodern. I think that'd be
Yeah.
good.
Okay, final question. What's the first thing you're gonna do when lockdown is officially over?
Um, it's probably going to be impossible, but there's nothing better than an empty pub. It's the one thing I miss about the UK. You go sit in the pub and you order a pint and you sit in the corner and you have your earphones and you listen to music and you sit and you write and you just like go into your own world. Obviously, that's not going to happen. It's going to be full now, but like I would love to do that. Like I would just go sit somewhere like dead quiet. And
That actually sounds really nice.
you just seriously, dude, and just like have a drink and just like go, okay, cool, it's all gonna be okay. You know what I mean? Like that, as well as see my family because I haven't seen them through this whole thing.
Yeah.
Like I'm, far away from everyone, and it's nicer though. There's a new dimension with family. You know, like we've kind of bonded in different ways. You know, the parentals have like embraced technology
Yeah.
properly, which is very very cool. So like this thing has brought us closer, but pushed us further apart from other things.
Yeah.
So I, definitely see family and friends and all the normal stuff, but like sit in a quiet pub and have a pint would be like my go-to.
Awesome.
Seriously, yeah.
Well, it's pretty much the end of the hour, so at this point, I like to give my guests just a few minutes to give the audience like their final moment, their final thoughts, whether it be positive or negative. You can say whatever you like, and then stay on the line as I sign off, and I'll give you a proper goodbye on Skype. So yeah, Glenn, if there's anything you want to say to the people who are watching, there's quite a few of them. So yeah, here you go.
Yeah, I just want to say, obviously, thanks to you, Joe, for doing this. I mean, because the reality is, it's not easy doing what you're doing right now, especially in the beginning. I mean, I watched the first one. I
Yeah,
think the first one was snotty.
yeah,
Yeah, and it was like one or two people like tuning in, and then it grew, and then more people 40 minutes in, and so like, dude, you put in the work. So like, thanks for that. I mean, everyone needs to kind of push the fucking boat out and just do shit. And I think what everyone needs to kind of do is like follow follow the comics that are doing stuff online and support it. And you don't need to pay us. Well, you can please EFT Joe, but I think share the shit
yeah,
and comment on the shit because the biggest thing is we would like to hear back from people. So we're not getting that response. So it's like if I put stuff, I put stuff out there, I put my podcast out, and like I could see I got views here, listens here, and then like overseas and listens. Like you want feedback. You want people to like ask you questions. So I think engage with your entertainers, and also check in on them. You know what I mean? Like COVID-19 2020 has been hectic. Like I've lost 3 friends, not to COVID, but like to suicide,
Sorry.
because of fucking shit's gone wrong. Yeah, I'm gonna end the show with that. But like, so check in on your friends.
Yeah.
See if everyone's okay. Not everyone's okay, and sometimes just a quick WhatsApp or quick inbox, like, hey, what's up? How you doing? It goes a long way. But also listen to my podcast. It's Ice Cream and Razor Blades. It goes out every week now from this week, and yeah, let me know if you like it. If you don't like it, that's cool as well. You know what I mean? I think just get involved is the statement. And then join our church when we started.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was Glen Bo on the show with me tonight. As I said, very interesting man and very funny as always. And yeah, it's been such a pleasure speaking to him for the past hour. And obviously, thank you to everyone who joined in: Storm, Chico, Queen Stabitha. Thank you for the like, Medicine Dolls. I see you, and so many others. Nabila Sat, even though you only watched halfway through. Um, Thank you all so much for tuning in. There were quite a few of you. Thank you for listening to us, and we hope that we made you laugh during the show. And thanks for playing the game with us. So, ladies and gentlemen, please subscribe. Please like this video. Please share. As Glenn said, it goes a long way if you just at least subscribe or share. And remember, if you do want to donate some cash, which 80% of the proceeds will be going to Glenn, 20% to me, there's a link in the description below. Please consider donating, and that donation box will be open for the next 48 hours. So even if you're watching this after the fact, you can still donate until June the 4th at 11:30 p.m. I think the donation box will close. So, ladies and gentlemen, once again, thank you so much. Please subscribe. I got more content coming your way, more interviews with comedians and interesting people on this channel. I will see you at the next one. Stay safe.